right. Hey, y'all. Hey, y'all. Hey, y'all. Hey, y'all. Hey, the bases are loaded again, baby. Welcome, Atlanta and all surrounding states here in the southeastern United States. We are here. We're back. We're black. And we are excited to bring you another episode of The Bases Are Loaded. That's right, they are loaded today. We're going to talk about a lot of stuff again, and we're going to keep the conversation flowing along with your feedback. I love to hear your feedback. I told you I don't mind if you hate me. You hate me, you make me great me, I'm telling you. And I'm your humble host right now here in a damp day here in Atlanta, Georgia, and we're coming at you live right now. And we have the update, baby, on You Know It. Yes, the Final Four. Woo! Boy, it was a long time coming. I don't know about you folks, but it just seems like this season blew. It was a blur. I mean, everything just happened. You know, I know that sounds a little oxymoronic, but it happened, or it's Captain Obvious, okay? But it just seemed like everything just flowed and just fastly just came upon us. And the next thing you know, we're down to 4 teams. My bracket, because my bracket, what about yours? My bracket was broken the first day, okay? So, hey. But guess what, folks? I redeemed myself. Remember, I told you, don't put me on your stick. If I don't pick what I pick, but I still told you, I still was done. I picked the 1 and 2. In both the men's and the women's. But we're going to talk about those women. Woo! Give it up for those ladies. Oh, my goodness. Did they ever put on a show? Caitlin Clark, kudos to you. Dawn Staley, we're going to talk about you in a few. Okay? Didn't mean to rhyme. I guess it's just that time. Folks, I tell you what. The women, I can honestly say they were buddies of mine. And they're all pretty much men. Okay? I don't have that many women friends. Maybe I don't such thing as that, but we'll talk about that another time. We can have that discussion. But all the brothers, man, they were all saying, hey, you know what? The women are type. They're that just sniznit this year, man. Everything was surrounding Caitlin Clark, along with, of course, Angel Reese and them beating them last year. The hoopla behind Jill Biden, our first lady, saying bring both of them to the White House. I think she kind of put her foot in her mouth about that one. No disrespect, first lady, but you know, hey, that was probably got you a little, got you a little riff. Got a little upsetting to a lot of people there about that one. But anyway, be this as it may. The Revenge Tour, okay? The Revenge Tour is what it was called for the women, for them saying they were going to come back because the South Carolina Gamecocks, give it up. Boy, undefeated season, baby. Undefeated. One of the few teams that have ever done it. So I think it's only been about 10 teams that have had an undefeated season, and let alone South Carolina, to their chagrin, would have done it last year had it not been for guess who? Iowa. And those Iowa Hawkeyes, hey, they did it. They called themselves the Hawks. Caitlin Clark leading the way. I promise you, they put on a show. Watch this, folks. 18.7 million viewership on that Saturday. Okay? Amazing. That's the first time in history. Okay, so give it up for those guys. Go, you get another one, get another ring. Okay, congratulations to the women's sports and to both Iowa, but South Carolina, you did it. Dawn Staley, you put it on the show. Let's talk about it here. The game leaders, of course. Come on, Caitlin Clark, 30 points. The young lady had 18 points. She's the first woman to ever score that almost 20 points in the first half. Okay, but you know what? It didn't do no good because that revenge by Raven. Raven said it. She said the revenge tour was over. She sure did. She stole that ball from Miss Caitlin Clark because they went up on a run. I think they run on a 12-0 run in the first the first quarter in that game. Because yes, folks, for you don't know, the women play quarters like the men do and of course professional basketball. The men play 2 halves, okay? But in the first quarter, those girls were lightning and they were tearing them up. But before that half, oh my goodness, they closed that gap real quick, okay? Caitlin dropped 30 points in that whole game, 10 rebounds. She was 10 for 28 on field goals, and she was 5 for 6 for free throws. Tristan, Miss Johnson, Tessa, let's give it up. Girl's a rookie. They're going to have a really good team again. They're going to be something else to deal with next year, too. 19 points, 7 for 11 on field goals, and 2 out of 2 free throws she didn't miss. She was perfect from the line, okay? Caitlin Clark again on the rebound. She had 8 ribs. She had 6 of them were defensive, and 2 of them were offensive rebounds. Camila Cardoza, 6 for 7. I know they're going to be glad you're going. Okay, she's going. She's headed to the WNBA, folks. Give it up for her. She had a great game. Listen to this. 8 rebounds. Actually, she had 17 rebounds, folks. 17 rebounds. 10 of them were defensive. That hurts the team right there when they get those defensive rebounds, I'm going to tell you now. And then what definitely gets you, of course, is 7 offensive rebounds. That means she put that ball back up in that hoop and when they can't do anything to it because that ball is coming to her. She was lights out. And assists, of course, Caitlin Clark led in assists as well. She had 5 assists and she had 4 turnovers that she caused in that game. And Malaysia, Full Willie, hey, she'll be back next year too. Like I said, those girls are going to be formidable again. Dawn Staley's got a dynasty going. And, hey, couldn't happen to a better person, okay? 4 assists for her. 2 turnovers in that game. Those were the leaders in that game. And, of course, they just put on a show for us. We're happy. We're really happy for you guys. The women put on a show, okay? They really did their thing this time. And, kudos to the coaches for both of the programs, but for women's sports altogether. It's just going to open up the doors for us to be more cognizant about women's sports and to actually put the dollars to it, too. Tennis was the trailblazer with that, with Venus and Serena. Those ladies would tell you all day they wouldn't be making nowhere near the money they're making if it wasn't for those two. And we just give them kudos right now, okay? We're going to switch it up a little bit, all right? And right now, going back to the men, we've got to give the men their props. Hey, the men, hey, what can you say, UConn? I picked you guys. I picked South Carolina. I picked UConn to win it all. Those are the 2 teams that I felt like were going to be in that, standing with those trophies, with those national championship trophies this particular season. I just saw it coming. I saw it brewing. UConn, they were actually, making a joke that the UConn men could possibly beat an NBA team, which I don't think that could totally happen. I don't think they have the depth to do that. But at the same time, they do definitely have the talent, okay? Listen to these numbers. Of course, UConn, give it up. Back-to-back seasons, okay? First time in about, since 2009, since the Florida Gators. Just teasing. I'm sorry. I ain't going to do that. Gators. Hey, you guys, Billy Donovan, hey, great coach. You guys had those guys, those two centers. Hey, they all went on to be pros and were all-stars in of course, the NBA. What can you say about those guys? They did their thing back in the day, back-to-back championships. But, hey, it's not, I think it was 2006. I can't remember exactly the dates. Forgive me for that. You guys can send me a message, let me know, and correct me on that one. Definitely, UConn. Wow, the UConn men. They had a point differential. They set a record, 140 points differential. Oh, my goodness. In this tournament, 140 points they scored on these games. That's 6 games. They got 140 points difference. Meaning, folks, that's how many points they beat their opponents by in this tournament. Whew. That's something to celebrate for them, something to really make you look at your program and say, hey, we need to take a page out of their book and find out what they're doing over there. Find out what Mr. Hurley is doing. He comes from a rich tradition in basketball royalty. His father, of course, and his brother, all of them are coaches. Of course, Bobby Hurley, of course, played at Duke. And, hey, Dan is doing this thing over there. And I guess right now they're laughing about Calipari, saying that he, of course, is signed with Arkansas, so that leaves that door open. They're saying they're gonna back up a Brinks truck for the next coach that comes in there, and they were throwing that name out. So, Mr. Hurley, you said it point blank. You may not go, but hey, let me tell you about these game leaders, because the game leaders on that game, of course, were Zach Edey. Zach Edey, great college career, young man. Considering he hadn't even been playing basketball that long. Okay, he just started playing basketball about 10 years ago. So he's getting ready to probably go into to the NBA, never be broke again, okay? As he's definitely going in, I'm pretty sure he'll go the first round, because if you need a big man, that kid is definitely one to actually look at, and he's going to bring some depth to your team. He's going to stretch that floor. He's going to block some shots. He is 7'4", and he can shoot that basketball as well. But he plays down on that low post like none other, especially in college. And they definitely proved that. But he just couldn't get past Klingon and those UConn Huskies, okay? But he scored 37 points, and he was 15 for 25 in field goals, and he was 7 for 10 free throws, okay? Mr. Tristan Newton, woo, give it up, Mr. Tristan Newton, 20 points. 6 for 13 in the field goals, as well as 6 for 6 for free throws. He was perfect from the line. And the rebounds was Zach Edey. He had 10. He had 6 defensive and 4 offensive rebounds. Of course, Cam Spencer was doing his thing too, of course, for the Purdue Boilermakers. But they just, like I said, they came up a little bit short. 8 rebounds, 6 defensive, and 2 rebounds. There were, of course, assists. Now, of course, the assist leaders was Brandon Smith. He had 8, and he had only a forced turnover. And Tristan Newton, who was, of course, give it up, he was the MVP or most outstanding player, the MOP. He was the most outstanding player. Guess what, folks? 2 years in a row. He's very quiet, too. He's very male-mannered. His mom is not. Mom was up there shaking it and breaking it, okay? But her son played really, really well last night. He had 7 assists in that game as well. And, hey, I can tell you right now, they are not going anywhere. They lose, believe it or not, I want to say they're probably the first team that lost 5 of their starters. 3 of them went to the NBA last year, and they came right back, and they had a dominant season. And as a matter of fact, they were more dominant than they were the last season. So, give it up to them. Give it up to UConn. Give it up to, of course, Don Staley and those South Carolina Gamecocks, those lady Gamecocks, as they like to say, of course, all right? So we definitely want to give them their props, and it was a great season, folks, and I hope your brackets, I hope you had fun. That's what it's about, folks. That's what sports does for us, all right? Speaking of that, hello, and thank you for watching Bases Are Loaded. This show is brought to you by Hot and Saucy, flavor over heat. Let's go to the Major League Baseball, baby, okay? Now, I can tell you right now, you see my Yankee hat. That's right. I am a Bronx Bomber, okay? Even though I'm from Brooklyn, by way of South Georgia, okay? But I can tell you right now, man, listen, the Yankees are off a good start. I'm kind of like Stephen A. Smith, who said, hey, I'm not going to get too excited about them right now. They're 9-2 before, but they didn't even make the playoffs one year, and they went 9-2. So, but guess what? It's a new day, a new sheriff in town by the name of, that Mr. Juan Soto already has 5 home runs on the season at only 36 plate appearances, folks. 5 home runs right now, okay? He's leading in home runs right now, all right? Anthony Volpe, what can you say? That kid is a rookie last year. He is doing his thing. Jersey kid, he's doing his thing, man. And Giancarlo Stanton, I guess they said, hey, he had the worst start And I think when he heard that he had the worst start, right up along with a pitcher all the way back in 1932, I think that struck a nerve in him because he sat up there and he got on base. His on base percentage was 100. It was 1,000, and not only that, he hit a grand slam to boot. So let's see if that keeps up. To our dismay, Jonathan Loizaga. Oh Lord. I don't know what's up with you, Jonathan. I don't know why you can't stay healthy. But, our pitcher, our relief pitcher, he's going to be out. He has to have season-ending surgery on his elbow, okay? So he's going to be out. As for the Dodgers, Shohei Ohtani, Mr. Gambler Man, the gambler himself. You got to know when to hold him. Guess what? He has 3 home runs already for the Dodgers. Folks, I know you wonder why that is something, and you hear his name a lot. Here's why you hear him. Has nothing to do with him being Chinese. It has nothing to do with him hitting those home runs. It's the fact that he is a pitcher. Yes, he is a two-way threat. As a matter of fact, a couple of years ago, he had scored all the points in the game, kind of like John Smoltz for your Braves. He had all the points. He hit the home run, and he struck out everybody. Well, what can you do with that? That's one man when one man can beat you. That's exactly what Shohei Ohtani is doing right now because he's striking people out and he's hitting home runs, okay? So that's something to keep a lookout for, all that money they paid him. He better do something and not get caught up in gambling scandals, okay? Right now, the Braves are in first place, and they're playing the Mets tonight. They're 6-3 right now. Your Braves, Atlanta Braves, hey, give it up for kudos because last week we celebrated. Let's give it up for Hank Aaron. Hey, he did it. Hank Aaron, just a few days last week, hit number 715 right here in Atlanta, Georgia. How fitting. Did he break Babe Ruth's records despite all the death threats and all the things that were coming against him to not do it? He did it a few days ago in April. Folks, give it up for Hank. God rest his soul, but he left a legacy for baseball for us forever. He is always going to be etched in stone. Of course, ending his illustrious career with 755 home runs. That's the reason why a lot of his businesses are called the 755. For those of you who definitely are aware of business transactions and things of note to note here in Atlanta, Georgia. Now, switching it up a little bit. These guys are going to be going at it. The regular season has started. Atlanta Braves, hey, get your tickets. They got season tickets. They, of course, still available. Well, not season tickets, but they have season placements are still available. And also, if you got your local teams, if you're transient, a lot of us are, and your teams are coming, hey, go to the Braves Stadium. It is beautiful. It's Truist Stadium. It is beautiful. I'm telling you. Get your tickets now. Get them early before the Braves, get really, really hotter than they are, and those ticket prices start soaring. Okay, all right. Let's switch it up. Let's go. Guess what? That's right, folks. The NBA. It's it. They're playing basketball. They're playing basketball. Hey, guess what? This is the last week of the regular season. Okay, the Atlanta Hawks are in 10th place, 36-42. There's still time for you guys. I know Trey is out, but you guys can still get in that play-in tournament. You can. You never know. You can make some hay and have our fans here, give them something, of course, to root for and have some more pastime. Get some popcorn and some hot dogs down there at State Farm Arena. Keep it going, guys. Okay, my Knicks. We're in 4th place. We're 46-32 right now, so we're excited about our placement. We're just waiting to see where we're going to fit into this playoff scheme. It's going to be coming up very, very soon because, like I said, this is the last week of the regular season. And, of course, in the East, these are the East teams that we're talking about. Number 1 in the East, of course, is the Celtics, and number 2 is those Bucks. So they've already clinched their playoff spots already. All right. In the West, the Lakers are 45-34, okay? They're in 9th place right now. So they are teetering between them and the Warriors, who are in 10th place. They're 43-34 in that play-in tournament. We'll see how that goes. LeBron has been on a new tear. He's actually developed a new jumper. like he needed to get and develop any other arsenals to his basketball career and game. He's got a new jumper that he's actually perfected a little bit. And, hey, look out, folks. Here comes LeBron. We'll see if he's going to have any supporting cast from the Anthony. Anthony. Anthony Davis. I'm not going to do what Charles Barkley does to you. I'm not going to call you street clothes. I just call you, ma'am, hope you knows. That's all we do. We hope we knows that you're going to play today, okay? I feel sorry for folks who actually get their tickets and just wait and see if Anthony Davis is going to come out of that locker room. But right now, they're just battling right now for that play-in tournament. Number one in the, of course, West right now is the Minnesota Timberwolves, which is a surprise to a lot of people. They think they're surprising themselves with the season they're having. Following the Denver Nuggets, who won it all last year. And number three, of course, is the Thunder. Those guys have already clinched because they're so far ahead of everybody, okay? They've already clinched their playoff runs. And we'll see how it goes. We'll see how the NBA teams get, shape up and get ready to shape up and get ready to watch some playoff basketball. It'll be on probably 2 or 3 different stations, as you well know. That's how they do it. They play it. They start playing it right in the middle of, towards the end of course, this month. So get ready for it, folks. It's sure to be exciting. We got to have something. We got to keep the basketball going because it's going to be a while before we get to, guess what? NFL. Dun, 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 dun. Yep. Guess what? Next week. Actually, 2 weeks from now. April 25th. Whoa. It's going to be something to behold because this is the first time in history it's going to be up for 6 quarterbacks in the National Football League are going to be up for possible teams. Does your team need a quarterback? Falcons. Do you? Is Kirk Cousins going to be enough? Or do you need to get a cousin for him? Get a cousin them for him. We'll see. We'll see what you guys do in the draft, okay? And it's coming up. And right now, I don't know. You tell me what you think. Let me know in the comments who you think should go number 1. Will it be Caleb Williams or will it be Jaden Daniels? Because he's been showing out as of late on his pro days, and his numbers are good. Yeah, of course, he won the Heisman Trophy. So we'll see. Both those guys have won the Heisman Trophy between the two of them in the last 2 years. So we'll see who's first on that list. But this is the first time in a long time, probably in history, it's been over 6 quarterbacks that are going to be in the top 15 of the draft, okay? So that's definitely something to keep a lookout for you NFLers who like to keep up with this stuff and see who's going to get you and get your team, okay? So we're excited about it. Between Drake May, J.J. McCarthy, and, of course, Bo Nix, and Michael Penix Jr., who I really wish my Giants would have actually put their hat in for him. I really think he's going to be a perennial player, and he's one of those generational talents, folks. So we'll see how it goes. I'm looking forward because it's always, for some reason, the number 1 players that go number 1 in those drafts, they sometimes are bust, okay? But we'll see how that's going to go. And the one thing we got to look for and have right now is sports constantly going. I'm going to keep it going for you guys as long as I can, as long as it's got breath in my bones, I mean it, and breath in my body, okay? We're going to keep it going because the bases are loaded because sports is what keeps us from being short. I said it, and I was there when I said it, and right? And with that said, we're going to talk about the best thing in sports that I've seen, okay? Best thing. Give it up for Miss Dawn Staley, Philadelphia's Queen Bee, okay? Not only was she a player out of high school, okay, in their technical school in, of course, Philadelphia, West Philadelphia. She came out. She went to Virginia. She was a perennial all-star on that. She was an All-American point guard, went into the WNBA, did her thing there. She was six times, of course, All-Pro. Then what she's doing? Coaching. That's something that hardly ever happens. You hardly ever get a player that actually transcends into a great coach. Dawn Staley is the first black woman to have multiple titles, national championship titles. She has more than 2. She's in the conversations with the Vandevers. Of course, Ariama and Pat Summit. She's up there in that conversation now. And guess what, folks? I don't think she's slowing down. So give it up for her. Okay? It's an awesome thing. And with those, of course, with all the things she had, the pressure on her, you saw her in the release when she released it all. She gave all glory to God. She said it was nothing she could do. And when he's giving her that power, giving you favor, that's my favorite word. I don't know about you guys, whether you're religious or not, whether you believe. I think the word favor is more than enough to make it in this life. Because when you get favor from God, you not only are already blessed, you get an extra blessing. Okay, it's like that extra icing, okay? Because number one, I don't know about you, but every time I ever got favor from God, I didn't have to ask him for it. He just did it anyway. And that's just amazing that she's got 3 national titles and she still was humble enough to give kudos to Caitlin Clark. How classy is Dawn Staley? And we wish you all the best and all the future stuff will go that's coming your way and your teams, because I believe right now that you are right there formulating, getting ready for your new season. And with that said, with all the stuff that was being pecked on you and put on you, I got one for you. And I'm going to leave it with you. And I want you folks to listen, point blank. The only animal out there that is the other bird that is smart enough, is dumb enough to peck an eagle is a crow. And what that crow does, he gets on that back of an eagle and he pecks at his neck. And you know what that eagle does? He opens his wings and he flies higher and higher, to the point to where he gets to a stratosphere to where, guess what? The crow can't breathe. And then he just falls off. The eagle never takes the time to fight him or anything. So that's what you need to take that advice. Who are the crows that you're fighting? Stop fighting crows. Open your wings and fly and ascend to higher heights, because guess what? Once you get to that level, the people who are supposed to be with you will be right there breathing with you. The people who were not supposed to be with you, that started out with you, they were right there on that back, they fell off. Don't let that be something that's dismal to you. Let that be a lesson to you that sometimes God is going to take you to higher heights. And there's some people that don't want and don't need to see you breathing. Remember that, folks. And remember to love somebody, love yourself, love somebody even better. This is me signing off. I've had a great time with you guys this week, and I appreciate you guys, and we'll look forward to the next sports segment of The Bases Are Loaded. See you next time. Hey, are you liking The Bases Are Loaded? Do me a favor, hit that like and subscribe button and tell some more people about me. It keeps me coming and keeps you happy and keeps me smiling. Thank you.